Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're taking a look at a legend run in the Open Grade League featuring a buffed Pokemon that I think almost everyone forgot about, Aerial Ace JUMPLUFF. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, Andre Franco, so many thanks for the battle submission. Aerial Ace not only allows JUMPLUFF to have a way cheaper charge move, but on top of that, Aerial Ace JUMPLUFF actually has a better win rate than the legacy move of Acrobatics. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, and let's check out the legend run in the Great League featuring Aerial Ace JUMPLUFF. Hopping into the first match, picking up a fairly neutral lead, Dunsparce into Tapu Fini. Dunsparce farming up a bunch of energy, opponent goes for a drill run catch onto Superior, but great patience, holding on to the energy, and now sending in Gligar to answer the Superior. Frenzy Plant will do quite a lot of damage. The downside is the Gligar here is that Aerial Ace does not KO. So Gligar, if it wants to maintain switch advantage, does actually have to commit a shield here. Gligar is going to be met with a charge move from Superior, choosing to let it go, giving up switch advantage, because honestly, considering that the final Pokemon that we know about is the Tapu Fini, switch advantage isn't extremely important. Back in comes to Dunsparce. Dunsparce will fire off the Rock Slide into Superior and then will get the KO. Back in comes the Tapu Fini, and Tapu Fini is going to fire off the Surf. Surf will connect onto the Dunsparce. We now see a switch into the JUMPLUFF. JUMPLUFF farming up a ton of energy here and going for the Energy Ball before Tapu Fini is able to make the Moonblast. Energy Ball will be shielded by the Tapu Fini, gets the defense drop as well. That is quite nice. Tapu Fini baits with a Surf. That is a bit unfortunate. JUMPLUFF continuing to farm, firing off the Energy Ball here into the Tapu Fini. Energy Ball will be shielded. JUMPLUFF continuing to farm. JUMPLUFF just cannot get to the Energy Ball as Tapu Fini will be able to outpace, and this time they do full send the Moonblast. Tapu Fini massively overfarming. In the back, it's Shadow Venusaur, and Aerial Ace will hit for massive super effective damage. JUMPLUFF looking to overfarm, going for Aerial Ace number 2 here. This Aerial Ace is going to get the KO onto the Venusaur. Back in comes the Tapu Fini, and JUMPLUFF, an absolutely beastly performance in the endgame as it takes the win. Picking up a pretty nice lead in the next match, Dunsparce into Carbink. Opponent is going to save switch into Surfetched, and there's an immediate response with JUMPLUFF. JUMPLUFF, thanks to that new quick pacing from Fairy Wind to Aerial Ace, would be able to make the Aerial Ace before a Brave Bird is reached, but instead choosing to shield once, massively overfarm, and now go for an undercharge on the Aerial Ace. But the opponent commits the shield. They're looking to make it to a second Brave Bird, but they're not going to be able to do so without giving up both shields. Again, the pacing with Fairy Wind to Aerial Ace is really nice on JUMPLUFF. They make it to a second Brave Bird. JUMPLUFF is going to commit the shield and honestly can probably commit to the Fairy Wind farm down here. This should only be a Leaf Blade or a Night Slash. Neither one is going to threaten here. It is going to be the double resisted Leaf Blade, and JUMPLUFF leaves with 100 energy, ready to inflict damage onto the Carbink. Back in comes the Carbink. Carbink hit with the Energy Ball, and JUMPLUFF already at Energy Ball number 2. This is going to be getting Carbink pretty low. Carbink very close to the red. Carbink looking to commit to the farm down, but JUMPLUFF says no, making it to a third Energy Ball. JUMPLUFF KOs an entire Surfetched, an entire Carbink. All that's left in the back is the Medicham, which immediately resigns the match the moment it sees the Gligar. Picking up a pretty okay lead in the next match, Dunsparce into Shadow Nidoqueen. Drill Run, of course, hits for massive super effective damage here, but the rollouts do absolutely nothing. Dunsparce has the pacing advantage, able to make the Drill Run before Nidoqueen makes its nuke move of Earth Power. Opponent lets the first move through. That does a ton of damage, and they're going to fire off the Earth Power in return. Dunsparce will make it to one final charge move here. It's the Drill Run. The Nidoqueen is very low here. Opponent is going to commit the shield as they want switch advantage. They leave with energy, but this energy goes nowhere into Gligar. Gligar is Nidoqueen's worst nightmare. Nidoqueen goes for the Poison Fang. That does nothing. Gligar is going to get the farm down. Opponent sends in Azu. We see a switch into JUMPLUFF. Opponent in the back has Medicham, and this looks winnable. Ice Punch does less than an Ice Beam from Azu, so I like the no shield here. And the opponent Power Up Punch baits. Oh my goodness, that is terrible for the opponent. Aerial Ace will connect onto the Medicham. It looks like 2 Aerial Aces plus some Fairy Winds will be enough to KO. firing off another Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace will be shielded by the Medicham. Now boosted Ice Punch would definitely hurt here. Commits the shield, and it's another power-up punch. Oh my goodness, that is not good. Farming up and going for the Aerial Ace just before the Ice Punch is reached. Aerial Ace into the Medicham will not KO, but we see a beautiful catch, catching the double boosted Ice Punch onto the Gligar, and Gligar gets one shot. Back in comes the Azumarill, and we see JUMPLUFF still holding onto that shield, trying to clutch, able to land the Energy Ball. That does quite a lot of damage, continuing to farm. Azu going for the Ice Beam. JUMPLUFF has one final shield, and it's using it here. JUMPLUFF going for the Energy Ball. Is this going to be enough to KO the Azumarill? Energy Ball will connect. JUMPLUFF cannot get the farm down. Azu on 1 HP makes the Ice Beam and takes the win. Picking up a great lead in the next match, Dunsparce into Shadow Drapion. Considering there's a JUMPLUFF in the back, it's incredibly nice to see this Drapion on the lead. Continuing to farm with the Dunsparce, opponent throws on alignment, giving Dunsparce an entire rollout for free. Crunch connects, that does get the defense drop, which is a bit unfortunate. This Drill Run will not KO, but it will hit for massive damage if it lands, which it does, and now going for the Rock Slide in case the opponent tries to catch on a flyer. Opponent is just going to let that through. In comes a Poliwrath. We're now going to see a pivot into Gligar. Gligar is going to be able to tank an Ice Punch here. Opponent is actually running Power Up Punch on the Poliwrath. Oh my goodness. So they're running Power Up Punch, and the question is, are they on Ice Punch? Are they on Scald? What is that second move? It's a CMP tie here. Tough decision to make. Letting it through. It's another Power Up Punch. Oh my goodness. Opponent successful with the bait once, but not successful a second time. Continuing to farm up is the Gligar. It's a CMP tie here. Gligar just gonna let this go, and the Poliwrath is just going for power-up punches here. I don't know if they're on power-up punch, dynamic punch, or if they're just baiting, but either way, Gligar in a very nice spot as the opponent has some serious spice in the back as we see a Rabombi. Moving to the next match, picking up a pretty solid lead, Dunsparce into Lickitung. Even though Dunsparce does double resist the lick damage here, Lickitung still plays this matchup extremely close. Dunsparce is going to be firing off the Drill Run into the Lickitung. Lickitung appears to be more than happy just to stay in this matchup and play it out. Lickitung will go for the Body Slam. Dunsparce, of course, does have the pacing advantage here, looking to overfarm quite a lot and go for another Drill Run. Drill Run into the Lickitung will connect, and it looks like 2 more Drill Runs will be enough to KO. Unfortunate timing there from the opponent, throwing on alignment and giving an entire rollout for free. We now see a pivot into the Gligar, and the Gligar, unfortunately, the opponent is not going to switch out. They're just going to be staying in here with the Lickitung and going for the Body Slam. Body Slam is going to connect. Opponent now going to send in a Mandibuzz, and Mandibuzz will be able to soak Aerial Ace after Aerial Ace from the Gligar. Gligar continuing to farm up, firing off another Aerial Ace here, just looking to get as much chip damage onto the Mandibuzz as possible. Mandibuzz is absurdly bulky. Opponent looks like they're just running a strategy where they're just trying to win via bulk and probably attempting to go for a win on timeout. In that case, the ability to preserve Pokemon could potentially be key. Opponent firing off a charge move here. We see the no shield from the Gligar, and losing the Gligar is a bit worrying when you're going up against a team like this, as now it's 2 Pokemon versus 3. Going for the Rock Slide. Rock Slide will get the KO. In the back, it's Medicham, and now we're going to see Medicham versus the JUMPLUFF. JUMPLUFF is going to commit the shield here, and Medicham will fire off the Ice Punch. The nice thing is JUMPLUFF is able to outpace in this matchup thanks to the better pacing from Aerial Ace. JUMPLUFF continuing to farm up here. JUMPLUFF going for another Aerial Ace into the Medicham. As we've seen, Medicham can tank 1, but a second Aerial Ace plus the Fairy Winds should be enough to get the KO. They're firing off another Ice Punch, and we see the final shield used by the JUMPLUFF. JUMPLUFF firing off an Aerial Ace of its own here. Do we see a potential catch possibly, or is JUMPLUFF just going to take the damage? JUMPLUFF does not switch out, and this Ice Punch is landing. That's double super effective damage. That does quite a lot. In comes the Lickitung. We see a switch into the Dunsparce, and Dunsparce will be able to absorb that Body Slam. Dunsparce farming up to the Drill Run, over farming a bit as well, and this Drill Run going for an undercharge here, not necessarily wanting to KO the Lickitung, but the timer is coming up. Oh no, the timer is coming up. Body Slam will get the KO. JUMPLUFF gets the farm down, In comes the Medicham, and the charge move is not able to be thrown, and the opponent wins on timeout. Great lead in the next match. Dunsparce into Shadow Ace-Slash. Opponent is going to save switch into Mandibuzz, and they are absolutely core broken by Dunsparce. However, this Dunsparce will have to be preserved because the Dunsparce is the only thing on the team that can reliably check that Sandslash. Mandibuzz is going to fire off the Dark Pulse. That does quite a lot of damage. Going to bank a bunch of energy on the Dunsparce for later, and now in comes Gligar. The goal is, of course, to hopefully get rid of the Mandibuzz and leave with energy on the Gligar so you can threaten the Ace-Slash with a Dig. We're going to see the Aerial Ace fired into the Mandibuzz. This will get the Mandibuzz low, but it's not enough to KO. Opponent takes advantage of the desync timers. They're going to save the Mandibuzz for later and send in Cresselia. So in back-to-back games, the opponents are running some extremely tanky teams. Continuing to farm with the Gligar, going for the Dig and winning CMP over the Cresselia. Dig will do some very nice damage. Cresselia now approaching the red health. Cresselia is going to go for the Moonblast. That is going to put the Gligar into farm down range as Gligar will not make it to the Aerial Ace. In comes Jumpluff. Jumpluff unfortunately gets one turn bring in there and gets denied a Fairy Wind Sneak that it should have gotten. Jumpluff is going to look to overfarm in this matchup and play to the CMP tie versus the Cresselia. Aerial Ace is going to get the KO, and then just looking to switch. In comes the Ace-Slash. We see the switch back into the Dunsparce. Opponent tries to make a catch onto the Mandibuzz, but great patience holding onto the energy. Throwing one rollout and the Rock Slide. Rock Slide, of course, will be lethal. Mandibuzz committing the shield. Mandibuzz needing to put pressure onto this Dunsparce. Can Dunsparce get the farm down here? Rollout does not do a lot of damage. Cannot get the farm down, but able to force the CMP tie versus the Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz has to let this go. And now the question is, can the opponent's Ace-Slash get to enough energy here? Ace-Slash really does not have a lot of residual energy. Continuing to farm up with the Dunsparce. Dunsparce is going to have to commit a shield here as Ace-Slash will go for the Ice Punch. And now Dunsparce going for one more rollout here and able to make it to the Drill Run. This is super effective damage, but it will not KO. We see a switch into the Jumpluff. Jumpluff getting hit with double super effective damage. It gets KO'd. It's gonna be a race, and the Dunsparce able to withstand the double resistant Shadow Claws, make it to the Drill Run, and clutch a very narrow win. Hopping into the final match, needing a win to secure the Legend rank, and picking up a pretty good lead to do so, leading Dunsparce into the Lickitung. Last time, if the opponent stayed in, they played out this matchup for a while, and then looked to save switch into the Gligar to check and see if there are any Ice types lurking in the back. And as you're going to see, always over-farming in this matchup as well, looking to store some residual energy in case the opponent is the one who decides to leave the matchup first. Throwing one extra rollout and going for another Drill Run here. This will be getting the Lickitung into a pretty manageable health range for the Gligar to deal with. Dunsparce, again, looking to no shield here, can absorb these Body Slams no problem, and now in comes the Gligar. The Lickitung has so much energy, and Lickitung is going to begin spamming out Body Slams. Body Slam number 1 into the Gligar, and going for Body Slam number 2. Gligar does get an extra wing attack for free. Unfortunately, it's not going to allow the Gligar to farm down. Gligar can overfarm quite a lot, but is going to have to throw an Aerial Ace to finally get rid of the Lickitung. Opponent now sends in Carbink, so they are running an ABA strategy here with Lickitung on the lead and Carbink in the back. As meta as you can get. Let's see, can this, I would say, pretty cool team manage to get a win? We see the Dunsparce enter the field, go for the Drill Run, but it's caught onto the Medicham, and now Medicham is going to have to deal with Jumpluff. Jumpluff farming up energy here. Medicham going for the Ice Punch. We are going to see the no shield from the Jumpluff, and luckily this time, no power-up punch baits. Jumpluff is going to be firing off the Aerial Ace. That will be shielded by the opponent. Jumpluff continuing to farm. The Ice Punch from the Medicham is going to be grabbing the first shield from the Jumpluff. Jumpluff now at the back-to-back Aerial Aces. The question is, have the Fairy Winds done enough that Aerial Ace will KO here? We see the no shield. Opponent goes for a catch onto Carbink, but great patience, holding onto the energy, and now it's Energy Ball time. Energy Ball will connect. Carbink fires off a charge move into the Dunsparce. Can Dunsparce live this? Yes, it can. Dunsparce with the 1 HP survive. Drill Run will secure the KO. Back in comes the Medicham, but Medicham needs to make it to 2 charge moves, and they are never countering down. And again, that quick energy generation from the Fairy Wind getting to the Aerial Ace, and securing the legend rank there. Very nicely done to Andre Franco, able to get the 4-1, and we do actually get to see him claiming the legend rank as well, hitting the legend rank with an elo of 3026. Very nicely done. All in all, I think that Aerial Ace is a really cool addition to JUMPLUFF, and as we saw, a trainer had some very nice success with it, so it definitely does feel stronger than people are giving it credit for. However, if you're team building with it, you have to make sure that you are preparing for ice types, as ice types, as we've seen, absolutely shred through the JUMPLUFF. But all in all, it feels like an update that people are not necessarily giving the attention that maybe they should, because Aerial Ace, as we've seen, helped this trainer reach the legend rank. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.